Welcome to another live Instagram Live. Oh, we're doing this already, huh?
Why does my hair look weird today?
Why does my hair look weird today? Oh, today that ends in Y.
Oh, it's a weird hair.
Tomorrow's a haircut day.
This angle's making me look a little fat.
It's the angle. Welcome, everybody. As always, Zach has to poke and pry. Welcome to another live Instagram with Josh and Zach. Q&A like every week. Talk about what's going on in the hobby. Talk about sales from this weekend. Talk about the $1,000 challenge. Talk about ASU doing ASU things and having no teams left to. What's up, Matt C, tonight? Talk about how Matt and I are going to beat my brother-in-law and his team in basketball tonight.
You really need to win tonight.
We really need a dub tonight.
If you're going to get a dub, this
is the week.
One win in the season. This is the one you need
This
to
is
win.
the week. This is the week that we got to win. I didn't put on Do Not Disturb, so hopefully nobody calls me.
You can do it right now.
I'll try it. Let's see what happens.
Oh, oof, that looked tough.
It didn't work.
It's not happening.
No, we're out of Do Not Disturb mode.
Is it burner or your...
Burner. All right. So let's get started with questions, and we'll go from there. All right.
Oh, did we want to go over some of the consignment stuff later too? No, we didn't really discuss it.
What consignment stuff?
From the polls.
Oh yeah, we're going to talk about the polls, the answers for the polls. We'll look at that while we're here.
For that.
So, first question, update on PSA dual submission that's damaged condition of cards. So, I have no problem talking about this. Not the cards, we don't know, we don't believe the cards were actually damaged. What happened, guys, is we had a couple orders that were sent into PSA. FedEx showed PSA the box, and the box had some exterior moisture on it, so PSA declined the package. It's still there. They should be checking it in today. We have had this happen before, unfortunately. Like, there is rain in the world. So, we've actually never had a problem with the cards inside because we double box everything. So, we've never had problems on the inside. So, we're assuming it's the same thing. We don't have an official update from PSA. But once we do, we will let everybody that's in all the submissions that were in those boxes know. I guess it's a question for me. Top thing that I took away from reading Atomic Habits. So it's the first book that I listened to. So first of all, I didn't read it. I listened to it. Every day I've been walking an hour and I've been listening to books. The biggest thing I learned from Atomic Habits was how important it was to change how you identify if you want to change what your habits are. One of my big problems growing up and forever was that I always considered myself not a morning person, even though when I wanted to play golf or travel or whatever, I had no problem getting up in the morning. So that's why I always slept in and didn't get to the gym early. And I really want to see my son every morning. So now I'm getting up 4 nights a week at 5:30 in the morning to go to the gym at 6:15 so I can still see my son, because I've told myself now that I am a morning person. And every time I struggle getting out of bed, I just tell myself I'm a morning person, and I get up and I go on my day.
So if you're always late to something, you just say that you're not late anymore.
If you're somebody that is late a lot and you always say that I'm a late person, if you change that identity internally and say I'm not late and I'm somebody that gets places on time, you'll start getting places on time.
Interesting. We'll see if that works.
Give it a shot. Let me know.
Yeah.
You have to want.
I have to want to be places on
Here's the
time.
thing: you have to want to identify that way, right?
Yeah. My eyes hurt just trying to read whatever this says. Where's Josh? I don't get it.
I think Lee's saying I lost weight. He's the one I know from Orange Theory.
Oh
He's
God.
a big Arizona fan. He talked a lot of shit. You know, like
He had a rougher weekend than you.
rough. I actually think that I care more. I'm happier more when U of A loses in basketball than when ASU wins in the tournament.
Someone like John Eller would call you a hater, and I'd say so. Then I'm a hater.
Go Devils! That's right. For modern basketball, Zach, you take this one.
I can't read it. Did you read the question already?
I'll read it right now. For modern basketball, what's the price gap between BGS 9.5, BGS 9.5 True Gem, 9.5 Plus, and PS 10? And throw in BGS 10 for S's and G's.
Oh, you gave me the annoying one, huh? Well, there's a lot of steps there. I would say that a PSA 10 is usually 2x a BGS 9.5.
Give or take,
Say you're looking at a Prism rookie or something. I mean, I guess even like an NT would probably be double too. Or I'd say like a Contenders rookie auto 9.510 versus PSA 10 is probably closer to like 60 to 70% difference. I'd say it's not as big a gap. If it's a PSA 1010 auto and it's a rare auto, maybe 2x. I would say a 9.5 min versus a 9.5 true, you're probably looking at like 20% difference. I don't think there's a difference between a True Gem and True Gem Plus. That's me. I don't know about you, Josh.
I don't think there should be that much of a difference between any BGS 9.5. There should be a premium for Gem Mint Plus and like 0.5 from a BGS 10 because you have a better chance of crossing it to a PSA 10. But other than that, I don't.
But you think like a Gem Plus is worth more than a Quad 9.5? Does it really matter to you at all?
No.
I would say you could go
10 centering or 10 corners maybe. Surface and edges, no.
Yeah, maybe like an MJ rookie, but not most cards. Maybe like a 0.5 from a dime is maybe another 10-20% more. I don't think the True Gem Plus matters at all versus True Gem, personally.
Yeah, and Min Gem, I only care if it's like centering or corners again. Edges and surface, I don't give as much weight on.
Yeah, surface is a tricky one too, because it really, I feel like that's very subjective on the graders' parts.
Mm-hmm.
Because like a 9 surface and a 10 surface might be the same sometimes.
It could be the angle or not seeing one little thing on the card. And if you actually review your own cards, you could see that. You could look at it on 2 different days and see something, then not see it the next day, then see it again the day after.
I also think like the further in you investigate a card, magnification-wise, chances are there's going to be an imperfection on the surface in some way.
If you look for over a minute, you'll find something wrong with almost every card. Right?
Yeah.
So, sorry we went off a little topic, guys. If you have any questions, make sure you put them down at the bottom over here. Hit them in that Q&A button. Nope, today was an ASU day.
What's it say about Michigan?
Not a lot of Michigan gear today.
Yeah, we don't have much to. Should have kept Beeline, although he went to the Pistons himself. It wasn't a choice of Michigan's.
Can you share the current turnaround for bulk value, value modern, and BGS standard? I would say you could safely assume under 8 weeks for bulk. We've gotten some back in the 4 to 6 week range, but I don't want to tell you that and then you'd be pissed when it's not that range. So I would say we on average they're 6 weeks, but I would still use the same projections that PSA is giving. They're just coming a little faster right now. I haven't really looked into the value submission level recently, but somebody else asked that the other day, so I'll give that a better look to see where those are. BGS standard is 10 to 15 days, and our BGS bulk is 20 to 25 days. So our BGS bulk is one of the best grading deals out there if you want to grade with BGS. No charge for auto grades, and it's the same $22 as the other bulk submissions, and a much faster turnaround time.
And how fast did you say those take?
Bulk?
Yeah, the BGS.
20 to 25 days.
Business or
Business
total?
day. I would say business days.
So 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Pretty good. 4 to 6 weeks.
Yeah. So I ran our numbers today, and this week we got 2,100 cards for PSA and about 400 cards for BGS, which is up 15% from last week, which was up 15% from the week before. So we're seeing a lot of people sending in cards for grading and sending them through us again. So it's pretty cool.
They send us those cool holders.
Yeah, Beckett sent us these 2 Zion cases. Maybe we'll give one away today.
Yeah, should we do a giveaway?
Maybe we'll do a Beckett Zion case giveaway today.
Yeah, ask some questions. Get a free Zion.
It is so hard to do this because it's like mirrored. So
put it upside down and it'll be easier.
No, it's just like I go the wrong way.
Yeah, I was kidding.
Got you, dick. So $1,000 challenge, Zach. How do you think the $1,000 challenge is going for you so far?
Why are you smiling? Why are you trying not to smile? Well, my auctions didn't do great.
How'd they do?
Not well. I thought I'd get around 250. I got 120. Well, it was 120 or 125 before fees, so I cleared like 100. So not great, Bob. Josh, how's it going for you?
I haven't bought anything in a while, actually, so I got to see where I'm at. I'm going to auction off or list fixed price the cards that I decided not to grade.
You got to get the slabs in. Once those, then you can start churning.
Yeah, once the first grading orders come in, and they're currently at order prep, I think. I think they're in, or some of them are actually in grading already. Filthy Card Breaks. Can you just put that in the little Q&A section so we can answer it? It's good, really good question. Really, really good question. So we'd love to answer that one. Got to go in the Q&A though, so we could save it.
In there.
We got a couple questions, so let's get on to those.
Do you want a Zion case? The one from Stories just came in. It's weird.
Can I send in tickets for PSA or BGS slabbing.
Here's the thing about tickets. I'm surprised this took so long. I used to always get the paper tickets at the events I went to and keep them. Fortunately, they're probably not worth anything right now. So I'm just surprised this is now a thing. Now this is a thing. Tickets and game-used memorabilia with photo match. I mean, the reason game-used memorabilia never took off the way it used to is like the same reason with cards. Like, there was so much fraud in that market. But now they have photo match, so it's real. I don't know.
My problem with game use stuff is that it just takes up too much room.
Yeah, also, where are you going to put it?
Like,
oh, here's a sweaty jersey.
Like, imagine you have like a normal person has like a 1,400 to 1,600 square foot house. How many walls can you put jerseys on?
Yeah, I just don't know what you're going to do with them. Like, oh yeah, he wore it in this game.
So, for this question, you can send them in. So, to get onto the question of can you send them in? Yes. We don't do them though. We're not
doing tickets?
No, we don't get.
We're starting to do tickets.
We don't get enough. We don't get. If we had people asking us all the time for it, then we would consider doing it, like we did with the dual grades, which we're getting like 20 to 30 cards a week. So if we get 20 to 30 tickets a week, we would do it. But I don't think we'd get that.
Maybe we'll do them once a month. Maybe we'll start opening them up once a month. Just do one sub a month.
Can't wait to get my Stone Cold back out of Gem Mint 10 Pop 1. It is our pleasure, Midwest. Let us know what submission it is, or when you get it back, pop it up on the Instagram, and we will share that story for you. If you guys ever get anything from us, put it on Instagram, tag us. We will always reshare. You have auctions going on with us that you want us to share. You have auctions going on with yourself that you want us to share. If you tag us in anything, we'll always We'll always share it again, and not try to charge you 5% like some people do.
For the record, that wasn't a question, Midwest, but thank you.
Do you guys have a crossover service? I see the crossover review on the site, but not an option to send in for cross to PSA. So the crossover review is actually, I have to take that off because we don't do that. We're not doing it. We don't have a crossover service because we really highly recommend not sending cards in for crossover. The problem with do you want to tell them the problem with crossover?
No, you.
The problem with crossover is that they have to be 100% sure it's going to cross over. And then customers get really upset when they don't cross over. So I'd say we have probably about a 4% crossover rate. So it's literally burning money. If you're confident that you're going to get the grade you want, crack it out and send it in. Take the chance.
Yeah.
Live a little.
The risk with that is the card could be altered and you wouldn't know it.
Yeah.
So you got to just be willing to take that risk. We can't give you the advice without it's your call in the end.
I just think crossovers are just
lighting
fire to money.
So one thing to expand on what Josh is saying is like, if there's a scuff on the inner BGS sleeve, for example, and nothing to do with the card, it's not going to cross because they can't see through it.
Right.
So maybe Beckett, I know, is toyed with the idea of removing sleeves and a different holder. If that happened, maybe we open the crossover back up because it's a little easier to view the card. But typically, if you want a PSA 10, the best way to get one is to send in a card that's not in the slab.
You know the best way to get one?
You can buy it as
Buy
a 10.
one. Buy it.
From us, preferably.
When sending unit, I'm guessing you guys, Brian Bernal, one of our long-term customers, should I send it in a card saver or a mag? I would send it in a card saver. I would try not to send anything in a mag if I could avoid it. I think mags are really, really nice for display and nothing else. So I would send it in a card saver. If it's a thicker card, you might want to consider a top loader or maybe even a mag.
Maybe a 4-screw screw down.
Definitely not a 4-screw down.
Those are the best for the corners if you need to roll them out.
Thick cards, I would use a 180 or a 130 point top loader with tape on top.
Yeah, just use painter's tape though.
Yeah.
But we always send in the thick cards with so it's units thick card. That's what it's supposed to mean. Yeah, so especially those, I don't like the card saver because it can ruin the corners actually.
Yeah, but a mag it could bounce around, so
And ruin the edges.
I would do top loader.
Yeah, unless it fits perfectly in the mag.
It's like A, B. Nope, it's C. Congratulations on getting married, by the way, bro.
Oh wow! Congrats.
Bones cards. Do Bowman Chrome autos graded as a BGS 9.5 and 10 and PSA 10 hold similar value?
Well, they used to, but no. I would say a PSA 10 is probably between anywhere from 50 to 2x, 50% to 100% more than a BGS 9.5. True Gem Plus, it's probably closer to 50%. 9 Center Min, it's probably 80%. Certain cards where the pop is real low, PSA 10 could be due to a little more.
Yeah. So I agree with all of that. I wish that BGS 9.5s were still the same as PSA 10s, but they're not.
The reason, and they were for a while, because basically people would send to PSA cards they thought would be BGS gems but had bad autos, would be a 9 auto.
Yep. And now that BGS got rid of auto grades under a 10 on the slab, so I want to be very clear about this. They still have the auto graded, and if you go to the pop report, you will see the auto grade online, right? But on the slab, it doesn't actually say if it's a 9, 8, 7, 6, whatever. It just only puts 10 on the slabs now. All right, we're in a little question lull again. So, Zach.
What's up, Josh?
Who do you think is going to the NCAA finals this year? By the way, this is my favorite time of the year, if you guys didn't know that.
Who do I think is going to win?
What do you think the Final Four is going to be?
My Final Four had, I think, Duke, because that region was weak, and it is weak. Duke, Arizona, Houston.
Still in?
And who was the 2 in Kansas's region? I think they lost, but I think that was the other. Was that Marquette?
Marquette was
Marquette was a 2 seed.
Yeah, they lost to Michigan State.
Region. And the 2 in one of the.
UCLA.
Maybe if UCLA was a 2, I think I had them.
UCLA was a 2.
If they're in that region, though.
Yeah.
Right now, I feel like Alabama won a game where I think Brandon Miller didn't score a point.
Your boy's back.
Who?
Super Sky.
Oh yeah, Super Sky. What's up? Let me hear yours, and I got to think about mine, and I'll have to say mine.
I don't know who my
Final
final.
Four.
I don't know all the brackets. Marquette, Arizona, Houston, and Zags.
Well, Marquette's out.
Yeah, and so is Arizona.
Oh, they're saying.
Yeah.
Gonzaga?
So, by the way, everybody, my wife picked Virginia in the Arizona bracket, and then when they lost, started to blame me for her bracket being busted because she wanted to take Arizona, but it's my fault that she didn't.
So Pitino,
And then Arizona lost, so she had to apologize to me, and then she didn't even submit her bracket. She forgot to enter on the website.
Oh, she didn't even...
No!
Oh, boy, oh, boy. Oh, boy, oh, boy.
I think Gonzaga's going to win it all. That's all I'm going to say. I think this is the Zaga year. Yeah,
That's annoying.
I said it to Michelle last weekend. Said it to her, and it's really annoying because I lost them in the spread pool by 2 points last night on Sunday night.
You won with them.
No, I won the first round because I had whatever the 15 seed was, and then they didn't cover. No, I won with Penn State.
And who do they lose to? Texas?
Texas.
So you have Texas still.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the bracket right now. So Iona, Pitino jumps from Iona to St. John's. So St. John's is going to be really good in like 2 years.
They're just going to buy players.
Well, because there's a lot of... It's legal now. And there's a lot of good players in New York. And Pitino's from Manhattan. He's probably the best coach in college basketball, in my opinion.
Cannot wait for Hurley to leave ASU. Oh, my God. He's talking about how
I really think
he is.
Pitino's the best coach. You look at all the programs he's going through and how good they've been.
My 2 favorite coaches are gone, so it doesn't matter. I'm not going to disagree with you anymore.
I even liked him more than Coach K. Coach K is a great... Pitino's resume is pretty good. You can't deny it.
Yeah, for sure.
Ferrick Dickinson coach just jumped to Iona, which is where Pitino was. So
Lord.
Does that even...
That's an upgrade?
Is it?
That's an upgrade?
Iona? Like, they were 13... Like
Tim Kluse used to be a coach there. I coached against Tim Kluse in AAU basketball.
Where's Tim Kluse the head coach of now?
I have no idea.
Wasn't he? Oh, yeah, he was Iona.
We are in New York, and we do SGC, but not much of it.
All right.
Brian's got a question up, so we got to go to his question, and we'll come back to
I
this.
thought we already answered the question.
No, new question. Should he cross over his high-end... No idea what that is. Should he cross over his high-end BGS 9 to PSA 9? Yes. If they'll cross over, I would crack and resub.
Yeah, that's how I would do it, too.
Especially 9s.
Depends how high-end they are. All right, so... The East region. Well, here's the other thing.
Give me the 4 teams left in each region.
That's what I'm going to do.
And I'll tell you.
We're both going to do. I'm going to do a region.
What's up, Vadim?
You get first region. I get second.
Okay, let's go.
You get first. This is the East.
East.
Tennessee, Florida Atlantic, 4-9. Kansas State, Michigan State. So you just got
Sparty.
Can I pick the same as you or no?
You can. You going Sparty?
No, I'm actually going to pick Tennessee.
Tennessee.
Kansas State's the highest.
It's
seed.
really hard to pick against Izzo in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, Tennessee's always pretty good.
Yeah, Izzo's the X factor there.
Rick Barnes is a good coach though. UConn, Arkansas, UCLA, Gonzaga. So we were going to pick. I was going to take Gonzaga, but I will zag off that, and I will go with Arkansas. Go with the 8th seed. That's probably the best overall left. All 4 of those teams are good.
If I wasn't taking Gonzaga, I'd take UCLA for sure.
I just don't want to take them.
I hate them.
I don't like them.
F UCLA.
Because like the last time Michigan was good 2 years ago, they beat us by 1 in that game. I'm not taking them. Alabama, San Diego State, Creighton, Princeton. I'm going Bama. It's my chip.
Creighton.
You took the first 2 actually, so I get the last 2. Creighton. It's Alabama versus San Diego.
ASU beat Creighton, so they suck.
Yeah, that was my region. Like they were out of my tournament right away. Yet they're still around. Who do you?
I'm taking Bama too.
Yeah, right.
You have to.
All right, now I first pick again. Houston versus Miami, Texas, Xavier.
I like all those teams.
This is a good bracket. I think Houston finally makes the Final Four this year.
Think Houston? Good.
Who do you got? Miami?
No.
Texas?
Texas.
Texas is good.
Texas.
All 4 of those teams are good.
So I got Sparty, Gonzaga, Bama, and Texas. Zach's got Tennessee, Arkansas, Bama, and Houston. So I can guarantee you one thing from this. Bama loses.
So I have 3 SEC teams in the Final Four. So I'm going to switch Arkansas. I'll take UConn. I won't do UCLA because I just said I wouldn't take them.
Now when Arkansas is in and UConn's not, Zach's going to say he picked Arkansas first.
I picked both. I can't lose. And I'm not picking UCLA, and you got the others, so we got that region covered. So I think I'm going with Houston doing it all. You're going with Gonzaga?
Yeah.
All right.
So I just think it's the year. War in terms of value, don't know what that means. Would you consider cracking your BGS and sending it to PSA? Yes. I do it all the time.
I don't know what war in terms of value means.
Neither do I.
The only downside with doing this is like you got to make sure it makes enough sense because if it is a real high-end card, you might be paying $1,000 to grade it PSA
And the other part of it is
or $600 or whatever.
a lot of cards that come back min size end up in BGS holders if they come.
I guess if you're willing to burn the number for the crossover, it's only going to cost you $22 to send it back to BGS.
This might be my favorite ever Super Scott comment. Had COVID last week. I didn't know that was still a thing. So I stared at my refractors and got better. I also fell in love with Tim Duncan cards. Weird. Have you seen the Topps Chrome card with Shaq and Kobe? It's a Duncan card with Shaq and Kobe, or like the 2000 Topps Chrome with Shaq and Kobe?
There's one with Shaq and Kobe?
Yeah, there's a
It's
Shaq.
like a Champions card, or is it like a Shaq card?
It's a Shaq refractor. Shaq card. Yeah, I love that card.
Josh has seen it. Apparently I haven't.
I made it. It was in one of my reveal videos because I said I think it's an undervalued card because it has both those guys on it. Pretty sure it's 2000 Topps Chrome.
Except everyone hates Shaq. Why? I don't know. He's too good. You think Olajuwon was better
Dave Robinson's better.
than Shaq?
Yeah.
I mean, look, people say things. You're entitled to your opinion. That's what I'm going to say. Instead of saying something like that's a dumb comment or I disagree completely.
Duncan. 2002 Topps Chrome Duncan. Yeah, I used to have a refractor.
They're all on that one card. Oh, that's cool.
Sure that's Shaq?
Yeah, it is. 34.
Hell yeah. Yeah,
Why?
that's a cool card.
What is he doing?
I used to have that PSA 10 refractor.
Was he trying to do a
Pop like
finger roll?
3.
Was he trying to do a finger roll? Like, what is going on here? Duncan really kills the value of that one.
Shut up.
I mean, look, you gotta... Collectability goes. No one likes Duncan.
Yeah, it says my wall. So, not a lot of questions today.
No, nothing fresh.
It is my wife's birthday. Nothing fresh and clean.
Nothing fresh and clean. Titty Subs is in here. Like
Dan Hurley was great at Rhode Island. He's solid at UConn. I mean, you guys are a 4 seed. We're 3 seed. Bobby Hurley, we've been in the tournament 3 times in the last 5 years. We've been in the playing game every freaking year.
Are all 3 of them plans?
Yeah. We're 2-1. We beat Syracuse the other time. We lost to Texas, I think.
It's a big upset beating Syracuse in the play. Consider the coaching.
All we do is shoot. When we shoot a lot and we hit our shots, we win. When we take our horrible shots, we lose.
What was the game like? I didn't watch it.
We were up.
Not the play-in. I saw some of the play-in, but it was a blowout.
We were up like 11, and
When? When were you up 11?
like started the second half.
Wow. So it pissed you off then.
Of course it did. What happened is they got a couple turnovers. They got a little bit closer in the game, and then one of the brothers, one of the Cambridge brothers, for Cambridge, just decided I'm going to just take every shot because I'm stressed and I think we're going to lose. So why don't I just miss bad shots over and over and over again? And everybody tells me how good I am because I hit them every once in a while, and then.
So he's been at UConn since 2018. This is the first they've got. Like, to me, I don't really see what the appeal is at UConn. Jim Calhoun's not there. I think UConn fans are spoiled.
Bones, it's weird that it won't let you do that.
They're not supposed to be a good basketball program. Kevin Ali stole a ring his first year. Hurley's been here since 2018.
F UConn.
I don't feel like that's true. Hurley wasn't.
Hurley's at Ron first. Bones has got a question. It won't let me submit another question for some reason. But does consigning with you guys get more eyes and views on auctions than if we did ourselves due to the large amount of auctions you run? Simple answer is yes. More people will see it. One of the real big, a couple more of the big benefits are there are more cards in a week that people can combine with you if you have lower end cards. So say you sell your 20 cards or whatever by yourself, and you offer combined shipping, but there's only 20 cards to pick from. People might not buy them, but if we have customers that buy 80 to 150 cards at a time from us. So they'll take advantage of the extra quarter for shipping, or extra 50 cents for shipping when they do that. So if a card would normally sell for $11, might sell for $14, sell for $25, might sell for $29, etc., etc., etc. So no, I don't see any questions, guys. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe they're just not going in the queue
Kevin
today.
Ali won an $11 million lawsuit against UConn.
So there's a lot of advantages of selling through us. And if you're selling higher value cards, I think once you get to 500, you net the same through us that you would by selling directly
or more
on eBay. Right?
As you get higher, you get more.
Yeah.
That's the big one. The eyes, there's definitely more eyes.
The combined shipping, I think, is huge.
And they,
we'll have a short Q&A today.
And it's the eyes. There's also the advertising, and it's also like sometimes if you have like eBay up or Facebook, and they know you look at cards, you'll see, or even on Instagram, you'll scroll through, and you'll see they like have some listings promoted, like they buy baseball cards because they listen to all of your info, and a lot of those times those are cards we have. They're like our listings that are in that advertisement sent to me, so I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
I'm assuming other people get those too. The combined shipping's big. The other thing that's really good, say we auction it versus you, is people know we consistently auction stuff every day, so they're always coming to check us out. So they might not even be looking for what you're selling, but they'll bid on it because they're checking out what we have to sell that day anyway.
Yeah, I do that all the time when I look for big stuff. What's this? Okay.
Right, you're not looking at... You might not like PWCC, but you'll go through their auction to buy something.
Yeah. I go through it every week.
You're not going to look up Peter Jones eBay if you don't know, like if they don't have a name that's a following. So that, again, I think my point's made. If you're buying today modern or vintage baseball, so for us, someone just wrote that in there, so I'll just answer it.
Yeah, I don't think the Q&A is working.
So for us, we're definitely more experts in modern. So we're buying modern to grade and flip, or mainly to grade and flip.
We're buying Judge Trout, Acuna.
It doesn't mean
Ohtani.
we buy vintage, but I also think finding vintage that's gradable at this point is a lot harder because a lot of it's been graded for the last 40, 30 years or whatever it's been. Since 1990 something, so like almost 30 years now. You want to go through some of those?
Yeah, so guys, we asked a couple poll questions last week.
How do I open that on my phone?
You got to go to archive. So we asked a couple poll questions last week. First one was towards people that are already using us for consignment. The second one was towards people that weren't using us yet. And we asked basically, what could we do better? How could we either create a better service or a more desirable service for you to use? Right?
Here, what do I...
So you go here, archive, story archive. And then you scroll to whichever one you want. So let's
Okay,
go to,
so just click on this.
and then swipe up.
Swipe up.
No,
That thing. Okay.
it should give you the questions. I don't know why you're not seeing them.
Do you think we both can?
You might need to update your app.
All right. Well, you said there's no. Are there any new ones since the
No. There's no new ones.
you sent me? Let me just pull it up then that way.
Yeah, I've been grading a lot of young guns. I got three Matthew Brody, I think his name is, over there.
Josh is the Young Guns guy, not me.
I'm a young guns guy now. So I'm gonna read some of the answers to the questions. So to people that are already using the service, an update to the portal where you could see what's being graded by totals charts with sets, players, etc. I don't know that we could do that. I have somebody that I might be able to partner with to do that. I don't know that it'll be on the website though.
What does that have to do with consignment?
I don't know. Using your YouTube channel and or IG channel to promote more of what's being consigned. We are figuring out ways to add some more content around what is being consigned, both low end and high end, going forward. If we consign an entire order, maybe a small discount on the grading fees, minimum of 10 cards, you get 50 cents off. If you consign your entire grading order, you already get 50 cents off per card on that grading order for consigning. So that is already in that we already do that. If you consigned your whole grading order and you haven't gotten the discount, please let us know so we could look at the back end and see why not.
So maybe we need to just tell people that.
Yeah.
If they don't know that. This one I don't understand.
Which one?
The next, no major issues.
No major issues, which means that we're not doing anything bad, right? But faster time choosing consignment to cards being listed on eBay.
How talking about grading? Cards they graded?
Yeah, so grading to consignment. It's like a week and a half, so I don't know what...
I don't think it's very quick.
Yeah.
It's not... Maybe... Does it still say 6 weeks on the website?
Yeah, we should update that.
So
I can update that. All right. I haven't uploaded the spreadsheet. I am going to do a review video today or tomorrow, and I'm going to have the link in the spreadsheet there, I think.
Thanks, Joel. Thanks, Joel. You saw that. Someone asked the question. You want to go to the question?
Yeah, I'll go to the question real quick. Is consignment a good option for high-end, 10K plus, modern baseball, and why?
If you're trying to sell it, it's a good option. The best reason to sell through us is, again, the extra eyes. So if you're getting paid out 93%, and we might change that number, but on cards that rate, you're still probably netting more than if you auctioned it yourself. It's definitely more than the standard eBay fee. You don't really have to worry about the item once it's out the door, as long as it's not altered in any way.
And the slab is clean and stuff like that.
It'll be with other nice cards in a premier spot. That will be on Instagram or
at least in our emails.
Yeah.
Bare minimum, everything goes. The top cards go in the emails.
Spam. So I think that's the big reason. I guess the biggest reason is so you don't really have to worry about it.
Yeah.
That's the best part.
And if you want to sell a fixed price, we could do that for you also. So you don't. It's not something you have to run an auction. It's something that we could work out a fixed price deal also.
And if you have a specific card or cards you're interested considering, just reach out to us and see what we think. We won't tell you, hey, if it's a big card and it's not the time to sell it, we're not going to tell you it's the time to sell it just so we can collect the fee.
Yeah. And we'll always give you an accurate assessment of what we think it's worth when it's higher end cards. We're not going to lie to you. Hey, Sam, we're not going to lie to you and tell you it's worth more just so you send it to us to sell for you. And then you get disappointed when it sells for half the price that it was.
Yeah, at least we'll think it's going to be accurate.
Yeah.
We'll tell you what we think. Not just what you guys want to hear.
Hey, ASU shirt, what's your name? Fell in the background. What's your name? I'm Josh, that's Zach. Fellow.
I don't have an ASU shirt, though.
PC Sports Card shirt.
Oh, yeah.
When consigning, how do you guys determine to put the card at 5, 7, or 10-day auctions?
The only reason we ever do a 5-day auction is if stuff was supposed to launch a specific day in the queue and something happens, so we want to keep it together. 10-day, mostly everything's 7-day. 10-day, we probably pick 300 cards a week. Not necessarily all the top value stuff for sure, but there might be some other highlights throughout the week that are worth more than some of those cards. But stuff like cool Hall of Fame autos, cool slabs, we try to put all together in the Sunday 10-day auction, unless requested otherwise. But it's usually the best stuff and the most valuable stuff, in my opinion. Like, if you had a Luka PSA 10 Prism Rookie, which is probably $300 now, I know they were back up to around $400, but they're kind of struggling. Or you had Griffey Auto worth $300. The Doncic isn't going to be in the 10-day, but the Griffey Auto probably would be in the 10-day. Because it's just, to me, I consider that a better card.
Graven55, can you split out consignment timing for a lot of the same card? For example, I get 5 of the same card, 10 back in a sub. Can I spread those out over a few weeks rather than all up once? If you email us in advance when you're submitting it, or say it's graded to consignment and you want to spread them out, let us know and we'll just put them in boxes that can get spread out. They may not get spread out over a few weeks. It may be like Monday, Wednesday, Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday kind of thing, where they don't end all the same day, but they end within the same 2 weeks. Because if you have a card like that, odds are there's 50 to 100 of them selling that week anyway, so you don't want to wait till the price goes down. But we understand that you don't want to get them all up the same day. You just have to communicate with us and we can make it work.
We in the past, there was a time when we couldn't handle that, just
Right.
because we had so much, but we can try. I would actually recommend keeping them the same day, but having them end like 10, 15 minutes apart versus different days. I think that's more important. Josh never had the Devers Supers. I had that.
Yeah, I never had it.
Zach owns it, still does. No problem.
Thanks, man. We do this every Tuesday at the same time, same bat channel. I like saying that.
You can do Batman? Oh, bullet in the house.
Bullet with a comment/question. I have noticed a pretty heavy market dip these past 2 weeks. Have you guys seen the same, or am I just crazy related to the bank issues possibly? I will say we've bought a few lots recently that did not do as well as we thought they were going to do because we've seen about a 10 to 15% drop in modern baseball specifically. Could be that we're getting close to the start of the season and people are looking for basketball, football, and hockey now. Could be something with the banks.
I think
Could be there's a lot of cards.
I think the bank issue really hit hard. I think there was a PWCC auction that ended that like after it just hit, like the next Thursday or maybe the week before. I think it really hurt those.
You think so?
Yeah, some of the auctions were really bad. Yeah, the one that ended last week, I thought was really bad. I'm not looking to spend a ton of money right now, but if I was, I think I could have done pretty well. But on our stuff, I haven't really. I think more the baseball dip is just everyone's dumping at once now, and it's.
Yeah.
This is why I was saying, and we were saying earlier on, start selling in January because everyone's going to sell in March.
Yep.
But a little bit, it is a little bit from the bank, but I would only assume that would be bigger stuff rather than $50 to $500 cards. I would think that's 1,000+ stuff.
Yeah, I've seen theory. If you're buying the lower end stuff, you probably didn't lose money by the bank going up. You probably didn't have $250,000 in the bank where you're not insured after that.
Order Jack in the house.
If you send labels from Cracked Out Slabs, will you send them to PSA to update the prop report? Sure. We could put it into a package. That's not a problem. Just email group subs at PCSportsCards.com to tell them why you sent the labels in. When using grade to consignment, can the order be split fixed price and auction? Awesome videos on YouTube. Thank you. This video will be on YouTube as well. Zach, you want to answer that one?
If the stuff's over, it really depends. It can be. We really would rather only fixed price stuff that's either at a very competitive price or over like $250.
Or both.
Both is best, but like if you want a fixed price, a PSA 10 Zion Prism, and you owe us $2,000, and you have 7 of those, you want at $150, and they're selling for $110. We're not going to do that. Right. That doesn't make any sense. But if you want to list them all at $110 and they sell for $110, we could make something like that happen.
Sure.
We prefer not to split it like that all the time, but we can make something happen that works for both sides.
If you have a positive balance,
that's different. If you
have then we're happy to do it, right? If you have a negative balance and using grading to pay for the consignment, basically the way that we work that is we'll do it, and if in a month they haven't sold and you still have a negative balance or even more of a negative balance, we're going to auction them.
Yeah, unless you send us something.
Right? Unless you pay for it, send us something else, whatever. That's how we're going to do it because we can't just let the money sit out there forever. You know, it's basically a 0% loan that we give out, and we're happy to do it because we trust our customers, but we need to make sure we get made whole on those.
Yeah, and if we look at your cards, if we do this right, then all of a sudden we look and they're all cards that sell for 20% less than you have them listed, and they're not like cool rare cards, that's an issue.
If it's common stuff, you should just auction and get rid of it in theory. Water Jack, Could we see some quarterly specials coming April 1st?
He's always about the quarterly special.
Maybe as a joke.
$5 a card.
Oh Lord, Waterjack. I will tell you that we said this a little bit earlier. I know you just logged in recently. We've gone from about 1,400 to 1,600 PSA cards to over 2,000 cards this week and 1,900 last week. We've gone from about 250 or so BGS cards to 350, 400 cards in the past couple weeks. I don't see it slowing down. Cards going in to get graded, and look at the products that are starting to come out. Prism's out. I think Optics out. We got Bowman coming out. We got Topps products coming out. A lot of the stuff that people grade is coming out, so they're not going to lower the price when they see what's coming out. I would think that if we're going to see quarterly specials, it's going to be the summer when we have a lull of products.
This is like, so I just got a promotional email from PWCC. Record-breaking sales of a Donovan Mitchell black Prism Optic, 1 of 1 for $10,800. It just seems like such a misleading.
So the first time it ever sold.
And it's a 1 of 1. It's not even close to a record Donovan Mitchell. It just seems so tone deaf to send that email out. Like, that's not a record-breaking sale in any way. So stupid.
Wasp Bullet, do you guys have a lot of non-payers of people grading with you? No.
August, SSP Joel.
No, we actually, we had a couple of bad eggs, but those bad eggs were the reason we changed a couple of things we did. And we also now, if we see an order that looks weird, if it smells fishy, we check it out. So if somebody has an order that has a lot of cards that are too high of a level or too low, or they're in really bad condition, like we had somebody send in a complete set of 93 Beam Team or 94 Beam Team basketball with wrinkles going through every single card, and they wanted to send it at like a $50 level. We told them that we would do it at 19 and that they would have to prepay the order because it wouldn't cover the cost of grading. So they prepaid the order. So when it comes to stuff like that, we do due diligence on the cards to make sure that we're not in a situation where we're going to get left holding the bag.
And so that they also don't get ripped off.
Right. We also want to make sure our customers don't send in stuff at the wrong level because...
Pay $100 a card for cards that is PSA 9s are $30 each.
If you send in cards that are $75 and we think you should grade them at $19 and we save you $50 a card, you have more cards you can grade now. And we'd rather customers save that money than send it in at the wrong level and waste the money.
Or money for groceries, whatever it's for.
Yeah.
Just not for that.
Thoughts on the F1 movement into cards?
Yes, it's a couple years old now, isn't it? I think they started overproducing because the numbers have gone down drastically in the sales prices.
Yeah.
But it definitely has a big collectability. There's a lot of people who are into it.
When I did the last video with
Thank you, Juan.
You guys are awesome. I sent all my cards in through you guys, so our pleasure, man. We're doing a couple things to make it easier and more convenient, also.
So what does it say? So sexy. So what's the
easy?
I was like sexy.
So when I did the last podcast with Mike and Jesse, well, Mike wasn't even there. A guy that did F1 was on, and he was saying that this is the time to start buying and what guys you could be buying and stuff like that. So I think there is a lot of following behind it, but I agree with you. I think that a lot of that stuff is past its prime, and the more they make, the cheaper it's going to get.
So some of the other, we got one more. Or no?
One more.
That's the one you just answered.
Yeah.
I think the best stuff will stay good though. In F1.
Waterjack again. What do you think about Prism Hobby Boxes prices going down? Think Panini started the price too high?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean they were priced higher than last year's, and there's no quarterbacks.
Were they? How much did they start them at?
It was like $2,000 a box.
Really?
Yeah, it was insane. Yeah, it was insane.
What are they right now?
I don't know. It's still too high.
Like from Panini Direct.
We've been saying
you can buy them Panini Direct.
I don't know. We've been saying for like 8 to 10 months that prices need to come down, and we're seeing it come down across the board. Except Panini just thinks that people are still going to pay these crazy prices. I mean, the fact of the matter is they'll get some people to pay it, and then they'll have to lower the price. So.
No huddle is not real, right?
How is it that you're able to ship stuff cheaper back to us than PSA can?
It's cheaper for them. They're just not charging you what they pay.
Yeah, I mean they also charge more for their insurance rates than we do. I think we don't know what their deal is specifically, but we just try to charge you exactly what it costs us to ship. We don't want we don't try to make extra money on it.
$6.30 a box now on
That's
eBay.
cheap.
But like, is it? It's not really good. You're still losing money.
$6.20. Is it a $20 case or a $12 case? So it's like $7,000 for a case. It's crazy. So expensive.
That's what I'm seeing.
Big 3-4 cards. What is Fanatics going to do with hobby shops? They mentioned cutting out middlemen retailers. I think they're trying to cut out people like us when it comes down to it.
More like distributors.
For wax. For wax.
But the distributors who they want to cut out.
They basically want to cut out anybody that's in between the end user and them.
Did they actually open at $2,000 a box?
Yeah, something like that. It's crazy.
It's available on their website for $650.
Crazy. $650 is still too high.
Sure.
I don't think they're going to do anything with hobby shops because they need hobby shops to survive. So they're still going to make deals with hobby shops, but they're going to actually enforce a minimum and max. I think they're just going to say, this case is costing you $1,600. You can sell it for $2,000. That's it. And they're going to probably do the same thing with breakers. This is what you could break it for.
Yeah, they're gonna. I think they're gonna get rid of distributors because they don't serve any purpose for them. And that's basically there's hobby shops they're not gonna get rid of. Sorry, because or cut out because that's the lifeblood of the hobby. You need the shops for people to go to. It's just a place for kids. You get new people. It's something you need for optics in a way. But there's no reason that there should be distributors that they sell to then sell to someone else. They don't need that network, and that's how someone like us might get an allocation.
It depends how their logistics are.
Well,
they
they're
have to be able to
do it
ship
their
it,
own,
right?
Well, yeah, I mean they do that now.
Yeah.
Think about all the jerseys and everything. They don't need a distributor, so that's who gets cut out. I don't think they're going to have a. They're not going to. I don't think there's going to be discrepancy in the market where a case could sell for $2,000 pre-sale, say NT, whatever it was, and then they sell for $30,000 at release day. Like that's never going to happen. And if it is, they're getting 27. They're not getting $3,000 and someone else is selling for 27. So a breaker who has an old allocation of 15 cases makes.
Seeing what they're doing, I bet they make a licensing deal where they're selling the licensed product and you have to pay them if you sell it for higher. Like you have to pay them like a vig on it.
Maybe they're going to cut that spread because that's a huge inefficiency. There's no reason that
it was really good for us.
Not as good as it is for a lot of people. It wasn't great for us. It was good.
It was good.
We weren't able to make millions of dollars off it, but some people do.
Still do.
Yeah, and that won't happen the same way.
Predictions for WBC Vinyl. Are we in it?
USA versus Japan. I think Japan's going to win.
I think US is going to win.
There we go. I want US to win, but Japan has a real pitcher. I think Darvish is pitching. Our best pitcher is like Lance Lynn.
He was good 10 years ago. For 3 years. So
some of the other suggestions out here, I'll take.
Yeah.
So video walkthrough on YouTube on how to submit and the grade to consign process as a new user. We should definitely do that. We have a video explaining that on the website.
Not anymore.
Oh, it's not there anymore, like the old one. So that's something we should definitely do. Someone wrote Better Communications. Half the time they don't get the emails. That
I'll tell you why.
Is because they have a Yahoo email address. So if you have a Yahoo email address and you're consigning us, reach out. You got to work around it. Spacing cards so they don't end at the same time. So what we're going to do is maybe have them in the same day but spread out more. They're supposed to be doing that now. However, sometimes it doesn't. Ability to store cards to sell on consignment at a later date. And then someone also asked for like a subscription service similar where you can control a little more. We'll see what we can do about that. One person said have unpaid items removed immediately from my unpaid list after the cards were listed on eBay. So I wanted the developer to do that, but it's a little difficult to do that, so I'm not really sure. They unpaid items removed from the queue within 1 month, so we figured that should be around the same time. Unpaid items suck, but relisting those items at off times, someone didn't like. So one thing I was thinking about there is just having the automatic relist, so they relist the same day and time as previously. The 10 days are an issue. We'd have to handle something logistically internally. Sorry. So we're gonna look into that. Ability to choose to pay if something is a promoted list on eBay.
So you want to promote something? You want us to just give you a pass-through charge on that?
Yeah, I don't know how we.
It's an extra percentage on the sale.
I don't know how we do that. It might be too difficult. Cards listed faster. I mean, most stuff's listed within a week or less, so that one didn't make a lot of sense to me. So, shorting pay time period for eBay buyers, someone suggested. and relist card quicker if non-payer. So that's the relist part I kind of was explaining. So one thing about that is, if it's 4 days, that's what they actually get, or 8 days. A lot of times people pay after a week, I've noticed, and also
People are combining shipping. That's what they're doing.
yeah, you want to keep it as long as possible so people can combine auctions, because that $4 of saving in shipping is $3.70 going into your pocket. Limiting eBay accounts to bid on auctions, listing 2 to 3 times often results badly. Someone wrote. Results badly often. So I want to tell you something. We block bidders
Daily.
we do it every week. We go through everything. We block a lot. Like those 2 or 3 listings you see, those people are blocked. At least after 2 times. If you 2 times, you should be blocked. Automatically remove first entry and table free listed items is the same question. Faster updates on status after items. So that's one thing we're definitely looking at. So that is kind of, we want to have the payments, items showing as paid much quicker. So we're going to fix that with our developer.
Yeah.
For sure. The relists, looking into a subscription service and timing out listings, that's all something that we definitely want to do after reading this. And like I was saying, some of the suggestions you guys had are things we actually do.
And some of them we're working on, and some of them we're not, and we appreciate the feedback, so we can start working on them.
Like we might start spacing listings out differently because of this, and the relist differently because of your guys' stuff right there, which were things we hadn't thought of yet. And there are things we have thought of yet, like the payment status times, things like that, and the tables that we are working on.
Before we go into the questions, the comments from people that aren't our customers, 3 questions were up. So, does Ohtani outsell Trout now? I feel like Ohtani stuff just sells faster for me.
I believe he outsells Trout in everything except for
From
2009
Chromo,
Chromes.
yeah.
And even there on the color, no, Trout still sells high on the color there.
Yeah, I agree.
Everything but that.
And I think there's a bigger premium for Ohtani color, like refractors and stuff like that, in grading. Why has QA1 and QA2 become a bottleneck when it used to be grading? Because they have a F ton of graders now, and they don't have as many people in the QA control, and they want to make sure they do it right. And QA2 for us is a little bit longer than in general because we don't pop anything until it's scheduled to arrive the next day, because we don't want you to pay and then wait for the shipment to go out. So it's going to sit in QA2 for a day, or probably 2 or 3 days longer than it normally would when you go through us, even though it's already complete. Will you guys be accepting the Disney 100 cards for consignment? I don't see why not.
I don't know what that is.
I don't know what it is, but I don't see why not.
Yeah, sure. I mean, as long as it's a real product.
Seems like a lot of buzz around WBC. Has this helped jumpstart the baseball market early? We're seeing a decline in the baseball market right now.
All the similar stuff. I would think like
High-end stuff probably looks better.
Like I bet if you had Trey Turner stuff that night, I bet Trey Turner took a little bump after the Grand Slam.
He had a Grand Slam?
Yeah, go ahead in the 8th.
I have not watched
They were
zero
down,
WBC.
USA was down 2 in the 8th. He had a Grand Slam.
What day was that?
Sunday.
Oh,
Our
basketball.
last game. All right, so then we had some stuff from, and these I think a lot of these are interesting from prospective customers, people who haven't been using it yet. One question is, where do I get information on your services? You go to our website, pcsportscards.com.
And I'm going to reply to you and tell you.
Yeah. Your rates are slightly higher and require a form to be filled. So our rates aren't really higher than anyone's. They're kind of in the middle. Some are better. I know, like DC Sports, our rates are actually better across the board, except for under $10, which we're going to change actually. So I don't know where that stigma's from. We're thinking about changing 1 or 2 levels, but still, if you look and compare outside of Probstein, ours are better. Probstein's rates are better, but you also get a minimal product.
Yeah. With us, you're able to see all the updates, see everything that's going on the website. With him, you get a portal to log into to see everything, know all the statuses right away, know how much money you have. You don't have to wait for a spreadsheet at the end of the week.
But you don't even get a spreadsheet. You just get an ACH, and they don't tell you why.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's kind of weird. Someone says, I use your service. Do you offer referral benefits? That's something we can look into and figure out. We've done that before. Maybe some kind of standard thing.
Dreamville, yes. The 40 and the 22, both those levels include the autograph grade. So there's no additional $5 charge for autograph grades.
One person said including team name and the listing title would be nice. There's a limit of 80 characters. The PSA slab numbers get things in the PSA database that hurt us. And there's just things that are more important to me in general than the team name. I don't know how that could be incorporated unless it's an older card where there's not a lot of attributes. So someone, DC's a fantastic user dashboard, someone said. So do we. No, people haven't complained about that once they got used to it, because they used to get spreadsheets, so check that out. So one thing they said, right, the form to be filled out in DC, you could just mail it in. You don't need to fill out the form with us, so maybe we'll make that more clear for people. The form is to protect yourself.
Yeah. And in theory, we just ask for a card count. If you don't want to send the card count, that's not even a big deal either. You're just giving up any protection, really. We want you to protect. This is the main reason that we did the lists with PSA when other people weren't taking lists with PSA, because we want you to have a record and us to have a record of everything.
So maybe we need to update some lists to make it clear that you don't need to send us a list, because you don't need to. It's really for you.
Yeah.
So you have proof what you send us. One is friends and family payouts. I don't think any of the big DC doesn't do it. We don't do it. Profi doesn't do it. We can't do it. We can't send friends and family.
Actually, anybody that's registered with PayPal as a business cannot send friends and family.
I thought you could just receive it, but now you can't send it.
Can't send or receive PayPal friends and family.
So
but we are going to start offering fee-free checks, right?
Yeah. So we're going to work on the payout fees a little bit.
So there will be ways to get your money out for free.
So someone will sometimes use DC 87 for under $10 cards to avoid penalty. I think we're going to change that to $1.80 versus a $3 flat fee, just to
$1.80%, not
80%. Yeah. So if you sell a $10 card, you get $9 or something like 80.20 or something. I personally prefer to sell bin. Again, we do that, but if you want to sell bin, typically that makes sense. And then someone wrote pre-screen for grading. I don't know what that means. Anyway, so we're taking a lot of
well,
things into account.
pre-screen rating means that we look over the cards for grading, but it has nothing to do with consignment.
Well, maybe they're saying we pull the cards they should grade, but
maybe
that's too much value add. We don't have time to do that. There's 1,000 cards a week. It's not something that makes sense.
Yeah, we don't ship international because there's too many people that scam internationally, and we sell a lot of stuff international because we're always sending to like Ship My Cards and
yeah, it's not the same. So one of the sorry, Josh, for interrupting.
So I just think that most of the educated buyers internationally use a service so they could do domestic purchases on international cards.
The biggest issue with opening up the international was if an item sells for over $2,000, you cannot use eBay's global shipping program, and that's what we would use so everyone's clear, everyone's good, because there's just too many items go missing, and all of them use Ship My Cards, Tom C, or something, or a reshipper in Delaware. I don't know what they use. There's just a name. So honestly, we're not missing a lot of international stuff at all. For specific hockey stuff, we would turn on the global shipping if we know it's under 2,000, so we could work with that, and we do sometimes.
And the problem with that ends up being that we say that we're gonna be combining shipping, and you can't combine for
that's the other.
You can't combine for global shipping, so then customers get upset that you can't combine for global shipping. Zach,
well,
if it's more expensive, this is we'll talk about it after. I have an idea.
But most people, you're not really missing any of those buyers. A lot of those international buyers who buy through us have it shipped to SMC or honestly, we ship the most to them a day probably.
Yeah.
Like if you wanted to compare, because there's 7 different SMC whatever.
So
I think we covered mostly everything.
So in summary, you don't need a list to submit. You need a card count. We're going to come up with ways to give you your money for free, and we're working on that. When it comes to submitting and grading stuff, we're going to make it available so you don't need to submit a list for grading. We're going to try to make grading consignment faster, even though we think it's really fast already. We already do give a discount for consigning your whole order.
We might improve some of the rates.
We're going to work on the rates.
We have some ideas at certain levels to improve it, and there was one other thing. We'll do a better job of making some of the information clear to people, I guess.
Yeah.
Right. That people are.
We'll look through the website to clean it up to work on the verbiage on the website to make it more clear.
High end stuff to Canada we ship FedEx usually if it's directly.
So.
Someone asked that.
Yeah. SSP Joel. So, all right, guys, really appreciate it. Always a good time. Another hour flew by. See you guys next Tuesday at 2.
See who's alive from our Final Fours.
That is going to be out. All right, thanks so much, guys.